Good morning, everyone. We're about to get started here in just 2 minutes. Good morning, Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. Hope everyone's having a delightful weekend so far. This morning we are going to be working on some hands, maybe some feet, just trying to get a little bit better at some of those detailed parts. Lately we've been spending a lot of time working on kind of the whole composition and getting a good feel for that. So today I'm gonna start drilling down, getting a little bit smaller, a little bit tighter with what we're doing. We're gonna get a little bit of something different than what we normally do on the old channel. So let's get started. Hello everyone, nice to see you. Thanks for coming by this Saturday morning. Hope it finds you well, hope everything's going well for you. And here we go. First piece that I'm seeing here, we've got a hand going over another hand. Slight bend to the wrist. This is the first one of the morning, so we're not gonna get too hung up on making sure everything is just perfect, but we are gonna do our best to put everything where it's supposed to be. There's our knuckles. More or less going straight out there. Has a bit of a flare. If I was to guess, I would say these are probably a man's hands. They have a slightly more masculine quality to them, meaning they're a little more blunted at the ends. The knuckles are a little more pronounced. It's a little bit of a curve up here. And the other hand comes out right in there. Just it's pretty much on the reference directly on that spot, but we don't want it to be quite that close up. So we're gonna make a tangent. So let's say this goes pulls in and stops about there. Hands are hard. Hands are way harder than the usual fare that I do. What am I doing wrong here? What looks weird? And yeah, this is going to be the figure drawing style that we've done before. So we're doing 10 minutes per pose. A little funky, little pop in there. Yeah. I'll take it for now. Okay, so that does actually come out quite a bit more. The only inorganic element of the whole piece is that one ring. So we'll give that a little bit of oomph. Helps to ground us, know where we're going. Oh, that's right. This is like a weird electronic track that I found last time that's literally just sounds like somebody opening pig material. That's not what we're looking for. That's not what we're looking for. No, sir. Let's fix that, shall we? Yeah, let's. It's just zipping. It's zipping and unzipping a jacket. That's all that sound is. There we go. Mm. There we go. This sounds a little more relaxing. Yes. Because you want something with a pulse, but you don't need something that's gonna be too distracting. All right, let's get back to it. I'm losing it a little on that hand. I'm not sure what I'm doing incorrectly here. Yeah, because that knuckle's in the right spot. I think I just had started the thumb in the wrong place before. That's a little more like it. It's kind of sad bastard music though, if I'm being honest. Harder to find what I'm looking for. I don't want everybody crying into their coffee. We might need to pick it up a little bit. Go back to that weird dance music I had going. Yeah, we're starting to find it, which tells me we're probably also almost up with the 10 minutes we have for this drawing. I'll be swapping to the next soon. But that's just fine. That's what we're trying to do. You get it, you find it, and you move on, and you do the next one. It's a rapid way to learn, nice and quick. Because otherwise I'll start spending it on detailing, and I already know how to do some of that. Just enough to give it a sense of volume is all we're looking for with this exercise. Yep, I called it. It just switched. Okay. Let's stick with the rules. This one, ooh, that is a challenging shape. Okay. Well, I'll start with the source. Okay. Got a water bottle. Good knuckle separation in here. also have to have the cap being removed. This, what we're really trying to convey is that tension, I think. So we want to make sure that we can see that the fist is straining as it really grabs that edge. Try and pop it off. Get a slight, little bone process there. Okay. That's the general shapes I'm looking for. It's a little beefier there. We got a fold. Got another fold that comes in a little bit more. There we go. Layer it out too much. I can already tell I'm already starting to stylize a little, which is not what I'm trying to do. Here, the knuckles are they're a little bit further in on the hand than what you're seeing, because as you reach out, it sort of flattens the webbing of the hand. The whole hand flattens in, so you don't see the individual parts in the spots you would expect. I'm a little stretched here. Not by much, but just a little bit. It's a pretty good grip, I would say. It feels right, at least. What do you think? Does that work? Does that look alright? Hello, Monster! Welcome! Gaming today? I got a new drawing toy the other day. I got an iPad but we're not using it today because I have yet to set it up for Twitch. So I'll probably be doing that a little bit later. When I'm not going outside, because it's going to be like 70 degrees today. I'm doing good, I'm doing good. Happy the week's over. Happy to be doing this, and I'll be cleaning. Hopefully going to the skate park a little bit later. Weather permitting, I try to go out to the skate park once a week, but it's been so cold lately. Just haven't had much of a drive to get out there, so the barrier has been removed and it's time to get back to skating. Really looking forward to it. Got a new skateboard that I bought. Well, it's not new, but I bought it in January because there was a BOGO deal. And I could not turn it down, needed to get a new one. And I've probably ridden it 3 times so far just because it's been too chilly. So she'll be going on her maiden voyage. Alright, that is exciting. It'll be nice to have you back. I'm sure they'll try to talk you into doing some more TSNY work. Every time Layla comes back from TSNY, Brian's always asking about me, where I'm at, why I'm not there. Oh, and time just went off, so it's time for me to switch the pose. Alright. And off she goes. There we go. Ooh, a neck situation. That's no fun. Yeah, I have a knee situation. That's why I don't want to do it. Well, a knee situation and just like I'm 36 and don't need to be pulling line. Most of it's just that my body size is not great for working board. I can support people and I can help and I can give guidance, but I got no business being on there trying to hold up somebody who's over 200 pounds from going over the edge. That's not me. That's not a position that I'm good at. No point in tweaking my back. But I'll visit. I'll keep going back and checking out stuff, and if they had a better tight wire setup, I'd be teaching that. But the little portable one they have is not really a class teaching thing. I would use it maybe for warm-ups on some stuff, but that's about all it's really good for. Yeah, through skateboarding, like my right knee does not like being hung from. There's just, I don't know what it is, there's something in the back there that tells me no. It's not like angry or anything, it doesn't feel super painful, but it does let me know that it's not a position it wants to be in anymore. So if I was to fly again, it would be no knee hangs, no any of that kind of jazz, which makes it harder to teach a class. But I don't need to teach, so I could just go back to do a little flying here and there. I don't know, I go back and forth with it. I really liked it. I really enjoy doing the circusy things. I just also do not want to find my limit on it, if that makes sense. I'm at a point where it's not going to be a career any longer, so I shouldn't press it like I'm going to be in the Olympics or in Cirque. Just trying to be safe about it, you know? Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I did grow up with a trampoline, so there's some body awareness that helped with that, I think, but I was never trained formally on a trampoline. So everything that I knew was just kind of backyard trampoline stuff I figured out for myself. I didn't My form was absolutely garbage. I just kind of knew what it felt like to be in the air and how to change myself to be in a better position. Yeah, it's fun doing that stuff. I love it. Trying to find more excuses to get out and about and be more creative. I've gotten really good at hermiting. I'm really good at it. And I feel like if I am left to my own devices, I will continue for the rest of my life. So, I am making a little bit of an effort to be more social. Slather on some sunscreen and head over to the beach, maybe. That's right next to the skate park. Get a twofer. Yeah, see, these hands, I can tell these are women's hands because they're a little more delicate on the fingers. Come to a slightly more tapered point. It's not too pronounced, but it is there. They really have. Honestly, I'm sure that it has affected other people in a more negative way than it has affected me. Being more of an introvert. I mean, everything that I've ever felt myself drawn towards, no pun intended, illustration, graphic design, video games, even juggling to some extent, those are all things you do by yourself. Those are all things that you sit in a dark room and you practice and you get good at it and then you show it off to people. But social skills were never terribly high on my list of things that I was trying to improve. And now I'm trying to improve on it a bit. But yeah, I mean, it hasn't been too terribly hard for me with the isolation aspect of it. There's been times, there's been days, we ebb and we flow, but from a grand perspective, it's not that hard for me. I have my activities and I have a few people that I can talk to on a fairly regular basis. Obviously, I'd like to have a larger social circle, but I'm also pretty reluctant to put in the time that is required to build that, so you get what you put in. Oh, and Meredith, I'm not sure if you've seen our newest cat, Victor Hooper. I think he might have popped in on a stream that you were watching maybe 2 weeks ago. But he's been bopping around. He's a good guy. Really easygoing cat. We've lucked out because he is just an angel. He's a little chewy, but not really on other objects so much. Mostly just your hands and your feet if he gets a hold of them. How about you, Mara? What have you been up to lately? Are you packing, getting ready for coming over, or you still got a little bit of time? Right now, Layla's running around the apartment. She's got a wedding that she's going to be performing at a little bit later. So we're trying to manage our tiny space with me streaming and her getting ready. Pretty good though, so far. We're respectful enough of each other's spaces, it's not all that challenging. Oh, and that was 10 minutes on that one. Time to swap it up. Alright. Oh, the dreaded beats. Never much of a fan of those, but we're going to try. That is a hard angle to do, too. Okay. Kind of a foreshortening thing. These look like weird flippers. Anyone curious of where I get the reference drawings? Is a website called lineofaction.com, and they have a nice little setup that you can tell it that you want it to run class mode, where it gives you increasingly longer and longer amounts of time to draw the poses, or you can do what we're doing today and just tell it that you want a specific amount of time, in this case 10 minutes, to show the pose, and then after that it just automatically transfers to the next, which I really like. So, not sponsored or anything by them by any means, but check out Line of Action if you're looking for references to get better at drawing. It's not a subscription service, it's not anything you gotta pay for. You just show up, use the resources that they have set up for you, and run with it. Cannot say enough nice things about them. Sometimes it's hard to find, it's not that it's hard to find reference material, I guess it's hard to find solid drawing reference material, because you might find a a photograph that you really like, but it doesn't have like the right shading to make it a good reference. Because ideally with a reference, especially when you're doing anatomy stuff like this, it's all about the lighting. You really need to have shading, like the lighting has to be presented in a certain way so that you can see the shapes well enough to replicate them. Because sometimes, especially in commercial photography, things will be airbrushed or there will be artificial light sources put in to make the image look a little bit sharper, but if you're trying to learn from that image, it actually is not helpful because the reality of it, the actual anatomy, is kind of broken or hidden in some way. Okay, and that kind of curls up around here. Okay, I've stunted the foot a bit. There we go. It's more this sort of shape. Not quite as massive as I was making it at first. It does kind of curve in like that. And we have the process come out, and then we carry on. The flare like this. The pants stop right there. It's a hard angle, right? There's like a weird foreshadowing happening here. I am grateful for the challenge. Even if I do not rise to it very well, it is at least a good way to start off the Saturday. I'll probably play some more Elden Ring a little bit later too. Had to get a new controller because one of the controllers that we use finally bit it after years and years of faithful service, so it's time to get a new one. Looking forward to trying it out. Alright, so that sort of bubbles out. Oh, there was a little bit of excitement in the neighborhood this morning. One of our really old buildings, Snappy Car Wash. Well, it was Snappy Car Wash. It's been an automotive repair place for a while now. They had a big old fire this morning. We did not. It didn't affect us. It wasn't close enough to us, but we definitely heard a lot of people talking about it and saw it all over online. It's a very, very old building. Just like strange little caterpillars. I've never been huge on feet, so I've also never really put time into getting them drawn right. But we've got to be able to do the whole body. We're drawing people. We got to draw the whole body. It looks like there's a bit of kind of a valley that comes in through here. It's a little bit darker, but not by much. Oh, it's got like these veins coming through. I'll be first to say this is not gonna be the best drawing of the day. But I at least like, it might be the very first book reference I've ever drawn, so be kind, be kind. It's also important, once you get one right, to not just do the same thing over and over and over again. That's what we're using reference for. Actually follow the reference. Kind of sticks out like that, and then goes in. So it kind of comes in like that, and then you got the nail bed right in there, which puts this piggy a little bit closer. Comes over like that, and this one similarly like that. Again, folks, lineofaction.com is where all my reference materials are. I keep them just off of the main screen to make sure that there's no terms of service problems. But they have all different types of reference. They've got hands, they've got feet, they have full body, they have all age ranges, genders, whole huge collection of different things. And I think if you're a photographer, you can submit your own work for use there if you're looking for another place to have your work seen. All right, and that is that for this one. Just do my final little hard lines there. Not crazy in love with how this one turned out, but that's all right. It is progress. It's not where we want to end up, but it is closer than when we started off today. That's all we're looking for. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Let's move on to the next one. Just got one or two left in us before we move on for the day. Ah, this one is actually pretty cool. I think I'll stop on this one if I can get it to look right, because this is a challenging pose. I'll flash it over real quick so everyone can see. Look at that. That's gonna be crazy to try to do. But if I can get it, that'll be a real nice piece to showcase. Because I think we'll want it to end right at the wrists. And just sort of doing that motion. It's complicated. It involves like creating the tension. You want the tension of the cards in there while also like the mechanics of the hand. It's a good last drawing for the stream today, I think. All right. So we'll just slide her to the side like that. Just have a quick peek at my Restream dashboard, make sure I'm not missing any chats. Yep, just me and Moonsters Inc. in here. If anybody's trying to talk to me on Facebook or on YouTube, the only stream that I can currently see is my Twitch stream, which is Nico_X_0 at twitch.tv. Stop by and we can talk while we go. You can show me what you've got going on. If we build it up any bigger, I'll create a Discord and we can have a little drawing community to go along with it. Without further ado, let's get started on our last one for the day. Okay, so it looks like probably the first thing we should do is the inorganic elements. So that's going to be the cards. We want the cards to look nice and rigid. So we have our stack at a slight angle here. We have the hinting at some of the lines of the other cards. More or less straight. It's kind of hard at that angle. That is one of the things that I do like about swapping out to starting to do this with the iPad. Alright. Alright. And Layla is off, and it is just me now. Just you and me in here together, drawing on a Saturday morning. Lovely. Alright, that gives us a little bit of that tension that we were looking for. It's all in that just one curve. Give it the dimension because you can see a little bit of the inside of what's in there. We curve it the same way. Now we have the beginning of it. We want that thumb to be putting pressure on the card. That's where the knuckle goes. Thumb meets the rest of the hand here. Looks like the hand sort of flattens out right there. We've got the first finger, the knuckle, and that's a big knuckle on this man. Comes in right here. Sort of folds in like that. Might need a little bit more hand. Because that comes up and over. A little digit bump right there. Another one that kind of reaches, and this one supports, and here, because it kind of wraps around. It's holding it here before trailing up. The other knuckle part's right here. That meets the palm at this spot. It's like a fold, but the meat of the hand still comes over here. Then we slip in. It's a little knobby looking, but we can fix that as we go. We just want to make sure the bones are in the right spot. Once we get the basics in, everything else can kind of be refined. So this finger is sort of creeping underneath to help support. You don't really see where it goes. It's kind of a tangent. We're not going to worry too much about it right now. The pinky, that last finger, has a slight bend here, comes back over, like that. Okay, our proportions are looking okay. Bring the hand in like that. Let's make sure we don't distract ourselves with the first shape we made. We don't need to clean up too much of this. I'm just making sure that I don't misread a line. Okay, in general, I'm pretty happy with how this is going. That little xiphoid process still pops out here, but the actual forearm comes out here. That goes in like that. That same xiphoid process comes out over here in a similar way, but we can't make it quite as pronounced or it's gonna feel odd. Oh, excuse me, I said that we were alone. We're not alone, folks. I have an orange cat that's begging for his lunch, which isn't for another half hour, but he always begs for it right about now. If I... Hi! Now's not the time for your food, pal. You gotta wait. Oh, come on. I'm working here. I'm working here. You can't just be popping in whenever you feel like it. Alright, we'll pause for a second. Okay. Everybody say hello to OG. Say hello. If you're gonna interrupt me during work, you have to say hello to the people. Yeah. Okay. You can stay if you can behave. But only if you can behave. Alright, my dude. Let's change that music a little bit. It's a little too funky fresh for what I'm feeling right now. Oh, silence. How terrifying. Alright, let's find a little something different. I think it's a little too peppy for my liking at the moment. A little too workout session. We'll try... I think camping would probably be a pretty reliable tone. Oh wait, let's make sure I kill all the vocals, because I do not need somebody competing with me. Well, that sounds innocent enough. Ow! Kitty's love is made of sharp knives on my thighs. Alright, let's get back to that. Alright, all my magicians out there, this one's for you. Ugh, I got cat hair literally all. Yeah, it's your fault. I have cat hair all over my hands and all over my face. Not that I would have it any other way. But yuck. Okay, so this finger is helping to support. There's a thumb that comes over here. Yeah, this is more my speed. This is my jam. That's a pretty mighty knuckle too. This guy has some huge, beefy fingers. Mostly I'm just impressed and concerned that I will draw them improperly. Because I do not have hands like this, folks. My hands, like I said, I am 5'5", 5'6", somewhere around there. You do not see hands like this on me. I have the hands of an 8th grader. Stored under my bed in a shoebox. Just kidding, just kidding. It's in a Rubbermaid container. I feel like it's starting to get there. I think what I'll try to do is once I get this sketch kind of polished how I want it looking, I'll do the line art of it in Adobe Fresco, which is the iPad app that works best for this kind of thing. Maybe I'll make a little poster out of it. Would be fun for me because it's definitely a departure from other illustrations that I've done. Nice to be growing, trying something new. If you just do the same thing all the time, you're gonna get stagnant. That's how I've been feeling, at least. Just too much of the same thing. You get good at it, you kind of solve the problem, you figure out what you're doing, and it's like, oh, okay, well, what do I do now? Is this a problem that I want to still solve every day? Or is it time for something new? I'm ready. I'm ready for something new. It's a little melancholy, but I like this. It's a nice little desert sound. Oh, don't go away now that I'm just complimenting you. That was a nice sound. Oh, guys, I've officially made it. It looks like I've got a bot. Got a bot in my Twitch account. There's the first time. Little does the bot know I have no interest in artificial viewers. sure why people would even want that. I mean, artificially inflating can get you some perks, I guess, but it's just so empty feeling. Why would you do it? So bland. And again, I came from more of a punk rock ethos of authenticity, so not everybody's looking for that, I guess. Not everyone's in that same vein. Okay, so there's part of the knuckle there. Not quite that line, I don't think. I want a little bit of a bow to it. Not quite that much. That's pretty close. So we have the basic line work in, I feel like. So now we want to make sure we get in our shading spots. This one's going to work pretty well as some line art, so I'm not going to go too ham on the shading. Because if I go too crazy, then I'm going to lose some of those lines that are going to help me out when I'm doing the poster part. So let's just make sure we define the pieces we need. I want this to be a pretty smooth line. We don't need to cut in that much, obviously. Just want some nice, strong lines, that's all. It's kind of a weird angle, because I'm seeing shapes you wouldn't normally see on the arm. Makes you feel a little crazy. Yeah, because this comes in there. We have this shading that kind of just cups around. We have a little bit more shading that comes in here in the same way. Similar on this one, kind of cuts around. Gets in that little xiphoid process over here. Keep calling it the xiphoid process. I know it's only one part of the body that actually has the xiphoid. But there is a little bone process that comes off the wrist right there. Okay. That's looking pretty tasty. Let me check my stream view, see, that I'll shrink it down. Let's see. You know, I'm pretty happy with that. That's coming along nicely. I feel like you can see some of the tension. I can work on the tension a little bit more on that card. I think I need to bend that angle just a bit more to show that it's doing its thing. But the hands are about, I mean, the hands look like they're from the same person, which is a win in my book. The arms are about the same width, which I like. Yeah, we're getting there. I'm starting to feel it. Do you feel it? Can you feel it? There we go. And this is pretty much all in. Fairly heavy shadow. Cuts into a pretty hard crease right here. That needs to have a little more fat on that finger. I think that has to kind of come over here. But yeah, that's a bit that needs to be focused on. Because we have the width of the cards to deal with. That's what I forgot to throw in before. It's not just one card we're talking about here. We've got a handful of different ones. And that's part of what gives us that tension. And again, don't need to clean up everything about your rough sketches. I'm just doing it here so that I don't get confused when I start in on my line work, which I'll do a little bit later today, because we're almost done with our little sketchbook Saturday. Just can't get away just yet. May God bless your trap too, flies-ish-y? Fly-is-he? One fly-is-he? Thank you so much. Fly-is-he. Very nice. Where are you tuning in from? I'm drawing from Chicago this morning, where I usually end up drawing from. My pleasure. Thank you for stopping by. I try to do it every Saturday morning. Just little sketchbook moments. Sometimes it's figure drawing, sometimes we do cartoons, we do all kinds of little stuff here. Oh, thanks for following. Appreciate that. Oh, you are. Do you stream as well? I'll check you out. Excellent. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I love seeing what other people have going on. Send me a link. Let me know what you got going on. Chicago, which is where I've been for the past, ooh, I don't know, over a decade, almost 15 years maybe now. We have a decent magic scene here too, so I'm thinking I might finish this out, do like a poster or a t-shirt, maybe some stickers, see if I can shop those around a little bit. But yeah, this is just like something I do every Saturday morning, just trying to keep my practice going. Sometimes through the week you end up doing a lot of different projects that aren't necessarily the most creative, not necessarily how you want it to go, so this is one of those things where it's like I have control over my time here. This is something where we get to do what we want to do. I do on occasion. Can you hear it in my voice? I used to smoke cigarettes back in the day. I've been 3 years off the cigarettes because that shit starts messing with you. I didn't like how I was constantly feeling cold and didn't have any energy. But 420 is another story. In Chicago, it is 100% legitimate, and I absolutely enjoy that. As long as you're of age, highly recommend it. Good time, good way to relax at the end of the day. And it kind of goes with like the cultures that I've always gone up in with artist stuff, skateboarding. My crews have always kind of leaned towards that. You're old? Me too, man. I'm 36. All 5 years, congrats. Yeah, it's not easy. Those first couple weeks especially are rough. Then after that, it's like, yeah, it's not so bad. I still think about it if you're like around other smokers, but otherwise, it ain't that hard when you know what you're doing it for. That's how I feel about most of that kind of stuff. Is like things are easier to quit if you know what you're leaving it for. Like it's not just that I'm quitting smoking. I'm quitting smoking so that I can draw more and my body won't hurt as much, and I can actually get some more mileage out of what I'm doing. Like I'm gonna go skateboard after this, and I would not have been doing that if I was still smoking cigarettes, because within 10 minutes of me pushing, I'm already exhausted. I try. I don't know, I just overthink things all the time, so especially in a situation like this where I'm just talking to myself and talking to you in the chat, it's like, alright, as long as people are enjoying it and I'm not getting overly in my head, like that's a good time. That's a win as far as I'm concerned. Well, these are about where I want them to be for now. I'll go back and do the finishing on it, some posterizing, and decide where it's gonna live. If it's gonna be a sticker, if we're gonna go for a t-shirt, a poster, something along those lines. But we've been going since about 10:30. I need to go grab some food and then go enjoy this awesome day that we have for us right now. It is 70 for the first time in Chicago all year, and I've got to go out and enjoy some of that. It was dope meeting you too, FlyZ. Happy you dropped in right before I popped out, but I'll be seeing you around. I'll keep skating, I'll keep doing this. I game every once in a while, so you'll see me pop up playing some stuff here and there as well. Yeah, man, thanks for stopping in, and I'll catch you next week. Good luck with your own art,